Becky Hammon, I have so much respect for her as a coach. But as a person, if this is true in any way, shape, or form, I'm disgusted. And there is an ounce of respect that I've lost because you don't do that to another woman. Like, come on. I could even see if it was a male coach. No shade, Chris, but a woman to woman, that's what we're doing. You
and a mom.
And a mom.
And a
you
mom.
absolutely should sue them.
So on Monday, we learned that WNBA star and member of the LA Sparks, Dearica Hamby, filed a federal lawsuit against the WNBA and the Las Vegas Aces, alleging that the two organizations unlawfully discriminated against her and retaliated against her for being pregnant with their second child. And let's be clear, for people who are not aware, the WNBA did an investigation earlier in 2023, when Candace Parker was still playing, right? When she was coming over to the Aces. And they deemed that Becky Hammon violated the rules in the CBA. So they suspended her for 2 games. They took away their 2025 draft pick, their first rounder. And I don't know if there were any other violations or, suspensions. But the point is, this is something that is going to another level because Dearica didn't feel like the WNBA handled this investigation correctly to give her her proper justice and her proper due when it came to how the parties that discriminated against her allegedly were punished. And for me, I am glad that she has taken it to this far because pregnant mothers need to be protected and fought for in a league that is about advocacy and protecting women. And when you have the conversations that we saw between Hammon and Hamby, that is not an appropriate workplace conversation at all. It lacks empathy and just ability to understand what somebody's going through. And I think it's this culture that we've kind of, I don't say we accepted, but it's so normalized where, you need to be available. If you're not available, then we will move on from you. And that could be for a number of reasons, right? Whether you're injured a lot or something else. But if you want to get pregnant, that's a beautiful thing. And your employer should embrace that. It's like, how can we help you? It's like, okay, we know you're not going to be available for X amount of months. Or, we expect you to be back for the regular season. Great. Tell us everything that's going on between then and now. But then the fact that we saw in the lawsuit that the Aces were trying to obtain Dearica Hamby's medical records, that is disgusting. And I have no reason to believe Dearica Hamby is not telling the truth. I fully believe, like as Lauren points out, the rundown, that's a HIPAA violation. Why are you doing that? So I don't know how y'all feel, but I think that if she's able to win this lawsuit, or at least maybe get a settlement, that it will lead to better protections for pregnant mothers in the WNBA, and the language in the CBA will be much tighter to ensure things like this don't happen. And then also that the punishments are much more severe if and when these situations arise, Sharí.
You all know anytime there's a topic about women's rights, women getting what they're owed, women being mistreated and needing justice, I'm all for it every time. And for me, I have zero tolerance for women, Black women in particular, Black mothers, being discriminated against in any way, shape, or form. I'm with you, Chris. I don't think she's lying. I think she did the right thing because there should be some level of justice monetarily that she receives, because ultimately you impacted her income as well.
Right.
Like you shelved her, basically put her in a position where she had to go to another team, readjust, relocate her life. There's a lot involved in that as well, while she's a mom a second time. So, and then Lauren just chimed in on the chat and talked about mental health. Oh, absolutely. So first of all, let's acknowledge the fact that you have a woman that had one child and came back and did her thing on the basketball court. I don't know why we don't understand that childbirth is a dangerous thing. It is dangerous to have a child. You could die. So you have a woman who's an athlete at a high level, professional athlete, already had a child, came back. All right, I'm here. I'm going to have another baby. Totally intends to come back. And you ice her out like that and you treat her like that. It's totally unacceptable. So yes, you should pay her every single dime. And guess what else? Skylar Diggins should come right behind her and do the exact same thing, because there needs to be a level, as you mentioned, Chris, of zero tolerance. It's not tolerable. This is the Women's National Basketball Association. If no one else advocates for them, it should be their own league. Their own league. So shame on every single person. Every single person. And some of these people, Becky Hammon, I have so much respect for her as a coach. But as a person, if this is true in any way, shape, or form, I'm disgusted. And there is an ounce of respect that I've lost, because you don't do that to another woman. Like, come on. I could even see if it was a male coach. No shade, Chris. But a woman to woman, that's what we're doing.
And a mom.
And a mom.
And a mom.
Absolutely should sue them. And the timing, I don't care about the timing. And actually, cool. Glad it happened now. While there's so much attention on the women's game, because some people still don't understand the seriousness of this, or even that it's even happening or existed. So I don't know if it was divine timing. I don't know if they planned to do this at this point in time. Like, hey, when the Olympics wrap, we're going to strike while the iron's hot, whatever. But for me, I actually like the timing of this, because it showcases this to a sector of people who may not even understand the severity of this, or that it's even a problem. But Skylar Diggins, hey girl, get your money too. You may be working on it already, but there's times in life where you have to just be the pioneer. You have to be the trailblazer, and it's not always for great things. This is a hurtful thing. Who knows what Dearica has to unpack and revisit to even do this from a mental health, emotional health standpoint, even her family, right? So, but she had to be the person. So shout out to her for having the courage to step out and say, hey, I'm taking it a step further, because who knows what happens after this for her. Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
She's also putting her career on the line again, as far as the W is concerned. I'm hoping that that's not the case. But the reality is there are people out there that blackball people all the time when they decide to take a stand about stuff that they're actually justified in taking a stand for. So I applaud her courage. I hope she gets every single dime. And I hope Skylar Diggins takes note and follows suit and does the same thing.
I'm certainly, even from the perspective of, if I took the, emotion out of it, right? Just let's look at what we know, right? This might be the poli-sci in me. Folks may not know this, but my bachelor's degree is in poli-sci pre-law. Thought I was going to be a defense attorney, right? So just look at what we know. Whether or not it was said that if you have a baby, or if you get pregnant, or you need to be taking steps to not get pregnant, why is that even a conversation?
Right.
We shouldn't be, no one has the audacity or should have the audacity or authority to tell a woman. And as a 39-year-old woman who's never been pregnant and hopes to one day have a child, you're not about to tell me.
Nope, not ever.
That there's never a conversation that we should ever have on the table that says this is owed to you if you don't get pregnant.
Right.
Should never. So that's number one. Number two, how you going to tell me what I planned or didn't plan?
Come on.
100% condoms ain't 100% effective. Right. Number one. Number two, everybody's body reacts different to birth control. Putting my business out there again, was on depot for 10 years, acted very different than another woman who took the same form of birth control. So that's number two. Number three, you asked her to leave her apartment that was sanctioned by the team in 2022 when you didn't kick her off the team until 2023. According to the lawsuit. So why you putting me out early? So that's number three. Number four, according to the lawsuit, y'all were supposed to help pay for this baby's tuition, and you didn't pay for this baby's tuition. So now you're involving a child who don't really have nothing to do with nothing.
An innocent child.
Not even understanding that. So that's number four. And last but not least, whether you like it or not, this woman worked and earned that freaking championship with Las Vegas. You didn't invite her to the White House. You didn't invite her to the commemoration ceremony. And you told players, according to the lawsuit, to cease communication with her. Like, these ain't grown women and they ain't friends.
Right.
How are you telling people what they can and can't talk? Those things alone. Now you look at the investigation. You talked to 33 people, but none of them were active players of the Las Vegas Aces. Well, what kind of investigation did you conduct? So off those things alone, that is enough to sue. Forget the emotion,
Right.
forget the the CBA, the reproductive rights, forget all of that. Just off the basics of these things, yeah, it feels a little discrimination is going on somewhere. That is enough to sue based off the facts. So at this point, I really need the WNBA to really get their shit in order. I really need the Las Vegas Aces, who are already being investigated for the $100,000 compensation stuff, to get their shit in order, because this isn't going away.
No.
This is a huge deal, and it is not going away. And all of the amazing things that we're seeing about the W, we are also going to have to understand with growth also comes the shit.
Right.
And this is one of those, the shits that hits the fan and can hit the fan very hard, especially with a new TV deal that was just signed, especially with a new CBA that's going to be approaching very soon. They really need to have their shit in order. So good luck to Dearica. I wish her all the best. I certainly believe the truth will be revealed and that justice will be served for who it is deserved for.